Stuff from Ryan down there. Good cheeky character as well. Ricky's going to have a little bit of a rub down. He might keep the hat on, he might not. He'll be joining us in a few minutes' time up here. But just a final word from on round from you here, Steve. You ain't seen nothing yet.
And I think that's absolutely right. But I do know they're doing, in addition to the sparring with Ricky, which is fun, they're doing hard rounds, and they've got to, Jim, because you know what? The way he fights, the nastiness in him, the natural bit of power, that bit of instinct, he could go 10 fights like that, even against good opposition. Mickey Elliott, who's making the matches, is a good matchmaker. He could go 10 fights like that, so the rounds are being done in the gym, behind closed doors, 8 and 9 rounds. That's what he needs, that's what he's getting.
Great young character, still only 21 years of age. We're at the Odyssey Arena in Belfast. Welcome if you're just joining us on Box Nation. We're in the shadow of the Black Mountain. Later on, the night is going to be all about Carl the Jackal Frampton.
With Betway, you can now bet in-play on a massive range of sports via your mobile, tablet, Mac and PC. And with a free bet of up to £50 to get you started, wherever you are, you've never been so close to the action. Betway.com.
Okay, which one of you losers nicked my deodorant?
Who'd want to smell like you?
Who would have smelled like you?
Nice, mature.
Zip it, shrimpy.
Dan, eat a Snickers.
Why?
Because you turn into a right diva when you're hungry. Better? Better.
You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers. Get some nuts.
At Esso, we've developed a specially formulated fuel. A fuel designed to give you courgettes.
Esso. Fill up your club card when you fill up your tank.
With Box Nation, all the reaction from tonight's show, the unmissable show that is Bunce's Boxing Hour here on Box Nation, Monday at 7 o'clock. Joe Calzaghe will be looking ahead to the man he beat in Las Vegas, Bernard Hopkins, and all the gossip from the world of boxing, Boxing Matters, with Alex. That is Thursday at 7 o'clock. Let's have a word, shall we, with the main man, with Carl Frampton. He had a great fight here against Martinez, who is now a current world champion. In the summer, he should have made his debut on Box Nation, had a spot of ear trouble that ruled him out of that one. And so he's very, very keen to get into action. It's been a while coming, this one.
It's been a long time coming, the last fight in Belfast. Well, my last fight actually was in February against Kiko Martinez. So the atmosphere created that night was amazing, and I genuinely believe that Belfast is the most atmospheric fight city in Britain, maybe even Europe. So I'm genuinely looking forward to it. I can't wait. Martinez went on to become world champion after I beat him, so it shows you the level that I'm at. He's one of the biggest punching super bantamweights in the world, and you know, he hit me clean a lot, and I took him, and he never hurt me once. So. I've got a solid chin and I can compete with the top boys in the world. It shows me the level that I'm at, and it just reinforces that I'm going to get there and I'm going to be world champion sooner rather than later.
So on to Parady, how dangerous do you think he is?
Well, he's a dangerous fighter. As you said, he's only one defeat. He's won his last 7 fights, so you know he's coming here to win. He accepted the fight straight away, and he believes that he can win and put himself in a position to fight for the world title, but it's up to me not to let him do that. But you know, what I've seen very little of him, but what I have seen, he's an aggressive fighter. So I just hope that he comes and has a fight, because that's what's going to please the fans, and I think it'll make for an exciting fight.
Would you say that's how you would like it then, is both of you going for it?
Yeah.
It's not all about staying and being a bit cagey and outboxing him. You'd actually like to.
I love people who come to me. I love people that want to have a fight. I believe it suits me more. But I'm a type of fighter who can change tactics if I want, and if he, if I hit him hard in the first round, he goes into his shell and just tries to survive and counter punch me, whatever. I'll be able to get a game plan together myself just to nullify that. This is an eliminator for a world title, and he's the guy that can ruin my dreams that I've had since the boy. So I'm not going to let him do that, and I'm gonna give it my best come fight night.
Fight night, of course, is tonight. That interview done earlier in the week, I think the old fuzz around the chin, that'll be removed by the time he gets into the ring. We're expecting him not far after 10 o'clock tonight here in Belfast. Let's look ahead to our next fight. Irish title at stake here, the Irish featherweight title. It's vacant. Marco McCullough against Willie Casey, and a bit of a step up this one for McCullough, isn't it?
It's a massive step up for Marco Polo McCullough, as we call him.
It's an interesting journey, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Casey's sort of been there or thereabouts. Had a world title fight against Guillermo Riggler that didn't work, but hey, listen, he was there.
He's outstanding.
But listen, he is outstanding. He's in a class of his own, not just at super bantam, but most weights. What's interesting is what I love when I saw that fight, when I found out from Barry and the boys that was on, I thought, in the middle of this atmosphere, okay, you're going to throw out a vacant Irish title fight. They're going to fight themselves to a standstill.
Yeah.
Because it's not just the Irish title which means something to them, it's the fact that they're in front of here. But it's an interesting fight because Willie Casey, he's been there, he won prize fighter, European champion, and he's gone a bit stagnant, he's gone a bit still. Marco McCullough fancies it. He's got the bit between his teeth. He's a little bit tasty, a little bit lively, and it is a big test. And that's what makes it so intriguing.
He's only 23 years of age, 7 years more experience is Willie Casey. One can bang, one is nicknamed Bang Bang. I think we know what's around the corner. Let's rejoin our MC.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to live action at the Odyssey Arena, Belfast. The first of our title contest, the vacant Irish featherweight title. Please welcome, firstly, to the ring from Limerick, Willie Big Bang Casey.
Well, in my experience, just about everybody who comes from Limerick seems to be a tough guy, and this one's no exception, Barry.
Well, he really is a tough character, isn't he? Really is. And can bang a bit, can't he, John, on his day?
Can. 9 stoppage wins in 14. He can hit. And he says he's going to be just too good for McCullough, who says he's never gone past 4 rounds. And he says the prospect of going 10 rounds with me is just too much, and that I will overwhelm him. Well, we'll see. Not been in the ring, though, for 15 months. I just wonder if that might be a factor here tonight. Now, 31 years old, Willie Casey.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to the ring from Belfast, Northern Ireland, Marco McCullough.
Well, Marco said he needed a step up to bring out his best as a fighter. Well, he certainly got it here, Barry.
It's a really ambitious fight, isn't it, for McCullough? They obviously rate him, but he's coming against a guy with vastly more experience, boxing at a really, really high level, who can punch as well. So, ambitious is an understatement, John.
Beat Noel O'Brien for something called the Celtic Warrior lightweight title in his last fight. And here he is for the Irish title. Experienced man in his corner, John Breen, assisted by Eamon McGee. And there is young Marco McCullough, just 23 years old, looking for the Irish title in only his 9th paid outing.
But once again, ladies and gentlemen, we're at the Odyssey Arena, Belfast. Cyclone Promotions, in association with CS Asset Management, very proud to bring you 10 3-minute rounds of boxing for the vacant Irish featherweight crown. Our officials for this one, appointed by the BUI, the Boxing Union of Ireland, And here present at ringside is Mel Crystal and Francie McCullough. The timekeeper at the bell from Hillsborough, County Down, Mr. Dale Elliott, and the referee in charge for this one from Belfast, Northern Ireland, Mr. Paul McCullough. And now, ladies and gentlemen, time to meet the boxers. Firstly, boxing out of the red corner, wearing silver shorts with red, weighing in at 8 stone, 13 pounds 3 ounces. Bringing to the ring a 16-fight record, 14 wins, 9 wins inside the distance, with only 2 defeats. The former prize fighter champion and European super bantamweight champion from Limerick, Ireland, Willie Big Ben Casey. And across the ring, in the blue corner, wearing orange shorts with grey and black trim, weighing in at 8 stone 13 pounds 2 ounces, bringing to the ring an 8-fight record, 7 wins, 4 wins inside the scheduled distance, only 1 defeat. From Belfast, Northern Ireland, McCullough.
Okay, look, just both build the rules, okay? Obey me commands at all time, touch gloves, and God bless.
Willie Casey's last fight, a 12-round points victory against Jason Booth. Good technician, Booth. And I guess that's a sign of the difference in experience between them when Marco McCullough's fight is against a novice, a 3-fight novice at that in Noel O'Brien. How much has Casey got left? I guess that's the story.
Well, I don't think he's anywhere near shot, to be honest, John. He's just come off of one of his better wins, you would think, wouldn't you? But the McCullough camp must know something. Obviously, he's naturally the bigger guy, but vastly experienced and much younger as well. Hasn't got that man strength that Casey has.
Phil Sutcliffe, Casey's trainer, says his man has been looking really sharp in training. First warning from Paul McCullough about the heads going boring in close. Casey's fighting out of the southpaw stance against the orthodox McCullough.
And McCullough just willing to meet him in the centre of the ring. Not really using his natural attribute, not using the long arms, not using the reach. Happy to play it in close with Casey and not doing a bad job so far.
Body shot just caught Casey's attention, and again a couple of right hands going through, and he's forcing Casey to give ground. And already leather flying in this opening round. We thought this could be a cracking little contest. Kind of just lost a little bit on the undercard, but it's a terrific little early evening fight for you.
It's a good infighting by both fighters in there. McCullough landing some good uppercuts and a good, beautiful body shot there.
Oh, good uppercut as well, and this is a good opening round from McCullough now. He's softening Casey up with those body shots, and he brought up a beautiful right uppercut. Right hands to the body have really taken a toll on Willie Casey in this opening round, and it's still more than a minute to go.
Casey needs to turn him, doesn't he? He needs to keep moving to his right. Even though he's working the body, he needs to move to his right. Stay away from that right hand of McCullough.
Well, McCullough's putting an awful lot into this opening round. Marco McCullough. Real name Mark, but he changed his name for fighting in the boxing ring. There was already a Mark McCullough from Wickham who was fighting as a professional, as a lightweight. And Marco giving a pretty good account of himself in this opening 3 minutes, but can he keep up what's been a pretty fast pace?
Well, you thought the tactics weren't really ideal, would you? They're not using his reach and his height, but he's decided to fight Casey's fight, and he's doing very, very well with it.
Well, has it been a gamble? He's put a lot into this opening 3 minutes. Casey's still in there, but again, big hooks to the body coming in. Now Casey trying to reply in kind. I don't think there's any doubt, though, who's taking this opening round, Barry.
No, Casey's had the successes with that right hand over the top, but yeah, it'd have to be a McCullough wrong. And it's been that right uppercut, hasn't it? That's really done the damage.
Put him over, but he said, don't get him just putting on every tangle, when you get him tangle, he'll take me out super hoop. Pick your shots, just keep picking your shots. Watch. Just pick your shots, no, get him with the first, stop looking around you. Just doesn't.
Just make out Barry right hand about it.
Just doesn't. Double it up, the second time. First one, he's setting himself to hold it. To breathing.
Well, it was a dramatic opening round, and you saw a good illustration there of the big right hand of McCullough going in there.
Well, and as you said, as it happened, James, that body shot just weakened him a little bit, and then he just landed with a couple of uppercuts as well. Finished it up, there you go, beautiful, and that was one of many that he landed, wasn't it, in that first round. And that uppercut as well was a good shot, that worked for him again. Oh.
Casey, not one who naturally gets put into reverse gear, but he was by some of the onslaught in that opening round. 10 round of this.
Oh, that's a cracker so far, isn't it? And Casey just needs to keep turning McCullough, doesn't he? Needs to keep his foot on the outside.
Well, he's certainly got problems in there, and you can see that physically Casey looks very much the lesser man. Giving away a good 3 or 4 inches in there. Really teeing off again, McCullough, here in this second. But Casey's still there.
Well, he's toughening Casey. He'll keep fighting back even to his last breath if he can.
And the only 2 defeats on his record, Casey. You heard about Guillermo Rigondo, and no disgrace in losing to the brilliant Cuban, who's now one of the pound-for-pound best in the world, no question about it. And also lost a close fight to the Dane, Andreas Evensen, who you might remember a year or 2 back went down to Amir Khan. May well have been a Box Nation fight, that one.
Yeah, it was. Casey's starting to find his range a little bit more there with the right hand. But still, when they get closest, McCullough having more success, isn't he?
And Casey being forced to give ground again. Not the natural counter-puncher either, Willie Casey. Likes to go rolling forward on the front foot. That's it from Casey, firing in a couple of decent body shots of his own.
Heads coming closer, weren't they, again? Oh, good work again from Casey.
Well, it's the second time that the referee's had a word with them. Right hand was low, and one response from Casey. It's going to be that sort of fight. Closer round than the opener, this one.
Oh, it's hard to split it, isn't it? It really is.
Casey landing a couple of nice little shots there off that clinch. Remember, McCullough doesn't have the experience of going the championship distance, 10 rounds or 12. Casey does.
That's good work there from McCullough. He's using his reach.
Right hand gain was low. Casey looked to the referee as much as to say, well, are you going to say anything or what? And he did this time.
And McCullough had a good start to this round, but I think for me, I think Casey just stole that round in him. I think he finished it stronger. And that even did up on my card. A very close fight, and you can see him putting at this pace for 10 rounds.
Here's Phil Sutcliffe with Willie Casey.
Move in the head, move your own head. Left cushion, right hand. Now come down. Come down. Do you know where I'm going? Come down and look at him. Can't look at him. You're winning this. Look at him. You're winning this and look at him, right? This is your only stand. He won't stay that. This is what we talk. This is what we're going through, right? Break him down each round. Break him down. Stay with him, but move your head. Don't step off him. Do not step off him, right? And turn him and you can breathe in. Get it all back. Feeling good? Feeling very good? That's beautiful.
You're young. He's fucking 31 years old. Take your shots. 10 seconds. Stay there. Stay there.
Good box.
Got a fascinating fight here, and you heard the tactics being preached to Willie Casey, pretty much what Barry was saying.
Just seeing McCullough there, he's got a worrying little bit of a swelling over his right eye. That might be where they've been clashing heads quite often already.
Well, McCullough being told to stay away and try and fight at range, as he is doing just here, and you heard yourself in the other corner what Casey was being told, just get in close, don't give him space. Get in close and make sure you move your head.
In case he's tightened up, he just took his elbows in, hadn't he? And so McCullough can't get that right body shot into play. He couldn't in the last round, hadn't so far in this round.
I don't know if Willie's whole family's here tonight. It's a good boost to the old McGuigan ticket sales if they are. He's one of 22. It's a nice right hand from McCullough.
Casey moving his head well, but he needs to throw something, doesn't he, when he moves.
Those body shots again from McCullough. That's that right hand particularly reaped dividends in the opening round, and not a great deal coming back from Casey, but now he starts to get into range. This is where he needs to apply some educated pressure. It's a nice right hand from McCullough.
Yeah, come back with the left hook to the body, though, you would think, wouldn't you? That would be the clever option.
Still maintaining this fast pace, Marco McCullough. Now this is where Casey wants him. Can he start to put the pressure on now in the final minute of this round?
Neither guy having really any clean shots at the moment.
It's going to be a hard man's fight, this one, Barry.
Oh, it's tough, isn't it?
Oh, good shot. That's Casey's best punch of the fight so far. And bang, bang, really banged in a solid left hand.
Decent response by McCullough, though, trying to punch back.
Took it well, to be fair, didn't he?
He really did.
McCullough's only defeat was in his second contest against Di Davis. Come on since then, of course. That's another good left hand from Casey, who's having the better of this last minute by a distance.
And just landed with a great body shot there, didn't he, as well?
He did, super shot. McCullough trying to make a big grandstand finish to the round. Right, finished low, bossed maybe the first 2 minutes. Last minute, though, unquestionably belonging to Casey. And what does that add up to?
That's a Casey round for him. I think even though McCullough seemed to be winning the round in the early stages, all the quality shots came from Casey.
Look at him, look where you're holding him, right? You're not going to look by looking that way, look at him, right? Look at him and feel your shots when he's getting them. Do you understand? Go to the head.
Casey think that their man is starting to break him down. And he landed a couple of really solid left hands in the last minute, which added weight to that assertion, although McCullough did well early stages of the round, but then back came Casey.
Well, that left hand over the top was right on the button, and to be fair to McCullough, he didn't even take a backward step, did he? Tough kid, strong kid. Had to take a few good right hooks to the body as well.
Don't be smart. You've won them rounds, just keep it doing it. You won any rounds.
Fourth round, and on Barry Jones' card, it's 2 rounds to 1 for the former European champion Willie Casey, who's in the red and silver shorts.
Well, you can see why McCullough's corner thinking he's winning the fight, because he's boxing well, isn't he? He starts off every round quite well, picks up a decent lead. But in that round, for me, all the quality came from Casey. The quality shots that were landed were definitely his. Oh, good right hand there, though, from McCullough. Nice straight down a pipe.
It's been the pattern of the fight, hasn't it? McCullough dominating the early stages of the rounds, and then Casey kind of as the accelerator. He's just the foot comes off the accelerator, back comes Casey to capitalise.
And the right eye we spoke about in the last round, I think is getting worse, John. It's not just a swelling above it, it's below it as well now.
Casey being told by his corner to get closer, take closer order, get into range, walk him down. Then work like that, but that's a good body shot, good riposte from McCullough. Marco McCullough, this fight always represented something of a gamble, although at 23, I guess if he gives a decent account of himself, still young enough to come again. For Casey, were he to lose, well, that could have an altogether more damaging effect on his career.
Yeah, most definitely. It's a no-lose situation, I think, for McCullough, most definitely.
For Casey? Sorry, I see what you mean. Yeah,
Casey got everything.
Yeah, absolutely, Yeah, because McCullough's gaining from the experience, isn't he, whatever the outcome, really.
And already boxed very well so far, hasn't he, in this fight? Showing a bit of grit, must be a bit of skill in this round again, isn't he?
That's a good left hand from Casey. McCullough again, though, takes it well. And responding with 3 or 4 good, solid, heavy shots, and the crowd are starting to respond to this one, and quite rightly too.
It's the same pattern again, just when McCullough's having a good round, boxing very well. Casey gets that overhand left into play.
Well, McCullough's won the first couple of minutes again. Now let's see what happens in the last minute.
Can't let Casey get close anymore. Can he lose in that battle now in the last few rounds when it's close?
There's a good left hand from Casey again. His corner imploring him to get closer, but this has been a McCullough round.
Oh, good right hand there from McCullough. Good response from a young boxer, really is.
A good body shot again from McCullough. Really thuds that right hand home.
Casey needs to get back to moving that head again, dipping at those legs and then coming forward with the momentum.
Well, a tough fight and a good round for the youngster.
Yeah, definitely a good round for McCullough.
Well, there's still a few empty seats in the Odyssey Arena, but it is absolutely sold out here tonight. There'll be 9,000 come the big fight time with Carl Frampton in the ring. And just around Belfast over the last couple of days, I can tell you there is a real buzz about this city. It's kind of the biggest atmosphere I've felt, really, since the days you go back to the manager of Carl Frampton and to Barry McGuigan. It has that sort of feel about it.
Oh, listen, there's a buzz in it. You could feel it pretty much as soon as you got off the plane, couldn't you? You know, and talking to people coming into the arena, everyone's just really buzzing, thinking they're watching a future star, and they would be right, wouldn't they? Carl Frampton is something special, but the people who haven't come in tonight, the people who are coming in later on, are missing the classic tonight. This is a really good fight.
Working away on that eye, perhaps as much as you might have expected. And it is swelling up. We're only in the 4th round, and this is a 10th rounder, remember. This is the vacant Irish featherweight title, and on Barry's card, dead level at this stage.
Yeah, the story of the fight has been McCullough starting the rounds off good, with his good boxing, using it well. And then Casey coming back into the fight later on, but I just think he maintained the pace a little bit, didn't he, McCullough, in that last round.
McCullough, as we said earlier, is now into untested territory. Never been into the 5th round in a pro fight before. Big step up for him. Casey knows all about it.
Let's see McCullough just double up that backhand, double up that right hand.
Casey not just letting enough punches go at this phase of the fight.
But that's his tactic, isn't it, to where just keep the pressure on McCullough for the first half of the round. But that's what he needs to do, keep moving his head. He needs to evade those shots, not make McCullough build up too much of a bigger lead.
Still very much in the mix. Both corners absolutely in there with the fighters, both of them believing that they've got the right tactics to find the winning formula for this. Good body shot from Casey this time, left hand.
Yeah, McCullough just put his punches together well, didn't he? And then Casey just gets that left hand of the body into play again. But for me, McCullough boxing well so far in this round. Just needs to be plenty mobile, doesn't he? Feinting, spinning, turning, keep moving to his left if he can.
Went through a bit of a rocky phase, didn't he, in rounds 2 and 3. Maybe the belief back again after a good fourth.
Well, this is where Casey needs to work now, doesn't he? He needs to get him, trap him on the ropes. Oh, good left hand again from Casey.
Yeah, look at the way the young fella comes back. The youth and exuberance of McCullough, he will not be denied here. He can sustain it. Well, we'll see. Decent body shots from Casey.
McCullough just giving away too much ground there, isn't he? Just almost putting himself on the rope for Casey. He needs to take a little step back, then turn, he needs to spin.
Casey's doing enough to win the round though, Barry.
No, I just think McCullough, he's slowed down a little bit, hasn't he? When he's winning the round in the early stages, he hasn't put too much weight behind the shot, so he has a little bit more energy in the later half. And again, I think for me, a McCullough round, and he's leading out by 1, I think, in my card. Good fight though, John.
We have to get closer. We're letting him settle. He's getting back into a relaxed pace and he's picking a few shots where he might be stealing the round. You're being the busier, you're going forward, you're making the fight. You make the fight, but look at your shots. More head shots. Come on. Now the one that is going to work, and I can see it working, you're not doing it. Left rushing, right hand. Left rushing. On the roll, left rushing. So his head is in there and you're not looking at it. Look where the shoulder shots. Boom, short.
Has to be pressure now, Willie. You have
has to be under pressure. But when it's under pressure, he's putting his head. More pressure, but more walk. They breathe in, round 6. Right, round 6.
Sound tactics, Barry?
Right.
Yeah, it sounds right to me, but what Phil Suffolk was saying at the beginning of the round was the hands go a little bit more, wasn't it? You know, you're putting pressure on it, but you're not doing enough work. He would feel that he'd give those 2 rounds away.
Into the second half of the fight now, round 6. Irish featherweight title, if you're just joining us. Marco McCullough, the taller man on the right-hand side of your picture. The 23-year-old from Belfast, maybe at this stage, just has the edge over the former European champion Limerick's Willie Casey. Casey's made a better start, though, to this 6th round.
Nice fast hands there from McCullough.
Two of them landing almost simultaneously with body shots. A big right hand from McCullough.
Good left hook there as well. Just moving to his right a little bit too much for my liking. McCullough, can he walking onto that left hand of Casey?
That eye of McCullough doesn't look very clever, but at the moment I don't think the vision's being affected in any way.
Oh, lovely. Good timing there from McCullough.
McCullough looking for that. Casey rather looking for that big left hook, but not able to find the target. Now he does get in with a body shot, but it's returned with interest from McCullough, who's outscoring the older man, landing more scoring shots.
Oh, teed up on that, didn't he? In the Casey corner, saying getting close and they're right, you know, he's just his distance out a little bit, isn't it? When Casey lets that left hand go, just falling a little bit short. He's getting half a step closer before he lets it go.
Well, he stands about 5'5", Willie Casey. He's having to get inside those long levers of McCullough.
And again, both having their successes in this round. There's really punch-for-punch stuff.
I just get the impression, though, that McCullough's throwing more, Barry.
But he's letting his hands go in 3s and 4s, isn't he, as we're seeing here.
How the judge, the referee, scores it. Another good round. Difficult one to score, that one, Barry. It's those sort of rounds which can be very important as to how these are actually going to pan out.
Well, you think there'd be a couple of rounds like that. I just edged McCullough in that round, but it's again a close round.
Step right hand to him. Step out, you have to fight with him all the time. Step, bang, 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 and walk away.
That's all you need to do. All day long.
Make it easy for yourself. You don't have something in your head, you know. That's giving him chances to get you. And you're in front, but just keep me from getting into the tangle. He's dragging it. He's going to take over now. You have 4 rounds to go.
You let him back in
keep doing what you're doing. Just keep doing what you're doing. You have 4 rounds to go. You got to win these next round. So I can show you the boss. 1, 2, 3, and step to the side.
Just don't be letting him back into it again. Smart boxing.
Corners, 10 seconds. Good solid job. Seconds out. Round 7.
How did you score that last round, Barry?
McCullough, just.
Close one, though, isn't it?
Yeah, there've been a few like that, hasn't there? Just think Casey started a little bit faster than that round. Just again, it's just a little bit the weight in the shots that just made the difference. The combination punches, I think, more like.
A lot of well-known fight figures at ringside tonight, including, I might say, Mel Christie, president of the Boxing Union of Ireland. It's the Irish counterpart of the Boxing Board of Control. Charming fella, barrister by profession, and was a good fighter in his own right. Back in 1980, in the Irish Amateur Championships, he won the super heavyweight title, and his brothers Terry and Joe won at middleweight and heavyweight respectively, and that's the only family hat trick in over a century of Irish Amateur Boxing Association events.
Again, for me, Casey needs to jump on in quicker in the rounds. He needs to start quicker. Just giving him too much away, isn't he? Giving too much advantage away to McCullough. And he's stalking, he's putting pressure on McCullough, but it's only with the feet at the moment. He's not letting his hands go enough.
Keep faster, Willie, keep faster. Have the wonder, Willie, have the wonder. Come on, move your head, and open up. Come on. 3 and 4 shots, 3 and 4 shots. 3 and 4 shots.
And the close round shaping up here. And just the impression, perhaps, that Casey not quite doing enough.
Yeah, at the moment, in this round so far, he hasn't done really anything of note, is he? Really just following McCullough around, threatening him and all. Actually, again, he's just not throwing enough punches. And when he does land, it has an effect, doesn't it? You can see the weight in the shots. And for the most part, allowing McCullough to just land with those straight shots.
Turned his man well there, using the ropes and coming off and not looking for big shots, but just throwing enough just to catch the eye. There's a good right hand though from Casey, and this time McCullough just wants to hold on for a second or two. Good chin though, McCullough, he's shown that.
Yeah, he really has, and he's shown a lot of things tonight, hasn't he? Really has. And really, Casey's been asking a lot of questions of McCullough. His chin, his strength, his durability, his fitness.
It's a real growing up fight this for Marco McCullough, isn't it?
Oh, look.
At the moment, he's passing the test with flying colours. Casey, you sense, needs 1 or 2 big rounds. That's a nice right hand from McCullough. Beautiful, sweet right hand counter punch. Absolutely stopping Casey in his tracks. Good round again for Marco McCullough.
Yeah, he had a very good round, doesn't he? Again. And that wasn't a close round, was it? That was a clear round from McCullough.
There's Mel Christie, I was telling you about, the top man of the Boxing Union of Ireland, and he's the man who's going to be presenting the belts. Mel Christie, barrister, the gentleman with the spectacles, but don't cross him because he can fight.
Show more, right? Do you understand? You have to throw more punches, right? Yeah. More punches, right? Loads of punches. So you show when you're get closer. Get closer.
All the time, the big Odyssey Arena filling up. Here's John Breen with Marco McCullough.
And walk away. Put your hands up. Chin down, hand up. He's jumping like a
Well, we're moving now into the eighth round. And Barry, you've not got Willie Casey having won a round since the third.
No, I think the fourth and the fifth were close rounds, John, but the last two, I think McCullough fought very, very well. And the Casey corner, no, he's not doing as much as he should. Phil Sutcliffe imploring him just to throw lots of punches, lots of punches.
Can't give all that Christie information down to my own research. I have to raise a hand and say thanks to Jerry Callan, one of the veterans of the Irish journalism game. He's been around a long time, and I know he's loving this here tonight, and it brings back a few memories of great fights and great occasions of years gone by. And McCullough here is showing himself at the age of 23 to be a very good-looking young fighter.
Just timing Casey coming in lovely there, wasn't he, McCullough? And again, just basics, wasn't it? Just nice straight shots, good work, keeping his shape well. You know, kept his composure very well, and there was a lot of pressure, a lot of threatening pressure from Casey. But again,
that's good. That's good. Evaded Casey's lunging left hand and then punishing him with not huge shots, but nevertheless scoring shots. Casey getting to the stage now where he's going to, you sense, have to put his man down, maybe have to find a way to stop this.
Good work again from McCullough, just making Casey miss and coming back with those shots again.
Lovely variety of punches as well, Barry. Is switching attack from body to head beautifully, and the Belfast fans are loving it.
Yeah, picking his punches really, really, really nice. And Casey just not moving his head enough and just not letting his hands go again in this round.
It's a nice left hand from McCullough. And Casey's starting to look a little bit tired and dispirited now.
Uppercut again from McCullough.
Casey looking for the one big shot which can still turn this one around, but it doesn't look as though it's going to come.
Well, he got it in his locker, we know that, don't we, John? You know, you still got to be aware of what's coming back with Casey.
Well, he's a hard guy, and he'll be in there pitching as long as he's on his feet, and he'll be looking for a big shot like that to somehow find the target.
He hasn't been able to land that left hand over the top for a couple of rounds.
No, that's the one he needs, isn't it? Got to find a way to throw that big shot and to find a way through.
So he's doing sort of the right thing. He's putting a lot of pressure on with the front foot, making McCullough give ground, but just not dipping his shoulders enough and not just throwing enough punches. Look at that, beautiful bit of work there. Just nice little combination, spinning off.
And good footwork as well, Barry, getting away out of the danger area, and that's another good round for the Belfast man. Crowd appreciating this one.
He had to have a go. I don't know why he has it. He starts off the tram and then you heard him abuse it, and he just bobbed him, leads him, bobbed him. Didn't you see him loading up right hand to him in yourself? You see him stand over the full big ring, bang him in right hand. When you're boxing super, There's 2 rounds to go, and you're the champ, right? Your second title, you're the champ. Like 2 more rounds.
They're clearly thinking their man's on the way. They're going to pick up the title here.
Well, to be honest, John, this is the sort of time of the fight where you think it'd be Casey's fight, wouldn't you? Where he would be coming on strong, but McCullough's just shown a lot of things tonight. Really, really grown, hasn't he? Matured in there tonight. And
10 seconds.
When you think he'd be wilting, he's been come back stronger than ever.
Second fight, round 9.
Here's another Christie factoid. Christie's mother's French in the middleweight, that's Terry, in 1979, pulled off a unique double by winning the Irish and French championships in the same year. I hope you're remembering all this and taking notes for it.
I'm writing it down, John, as we speak.
Big Irish audience, of course, for this whole promotion tonight. And if you're joining us for the first time and watching on Box Nation, you're very, very welcome, and I hope you're enjoying every minute of it here from the Odyssey Arena in Belfast. Good shot from McCullough, lovely.
Great shot. His timing's got better as the fight's gone on. They're getting that right uppercut again, times it really well, doesn't he?
Well, you can see he visibly grew in confidence, didn't he, after that 4th round? He had a couple of scratchy rounds when it looked as though Casey was coming back, making it his fight, and then he had a good round, and suddenly he's really fought with a great deal of belief.
Oh, he's been great, hasn't he? He picked his punches well, his footwork. You see him in the first 2 rounds, you wouldn't think he had any footwork, and then all of a sudden he's been spinning his opponent really well. Giving away a bit too much ground for my liking, but, you know, he's been... Oh, again, a right hand, catching Casey flush.
And here comes a big attack. He had to absorb one himself from Casey, but look how well he took it, and look what he responded with. Only a round and a half now for Willie Casey somehow to turn this one around.
And even though Casey's only obviously a natural, he's a super bantamweight really, isn't he? But you think he'd have all the strength, but look at the power and the shots of Bennett. McCullough, sorry. Seems to be having more weight in his shots as the fight's going on. He's really, his fitness has been tremendous tonight. He's putting in loads of pressure from Casey from round 1 onwards.
Casey lunging in now behind those shots, throwing himself in with the punch, telegraphing his attempts. That's a decent right hand, but look what comes back. Beautiful, beautiful. And Casey was staggered a little bit by that right hand, and this might be the opportunity for McCullough to force a stoppage. Almost went down, Casey, and instead he does. Right hand, referee's making a count, but I don't think there's any point because this now is only going to finish one way. It was a right hand that put him down. The ref's having a long, long look. He looks to the corner as well, and it goes on, but this fight is surely going to be all over now. And here comes the stoppage. It's all over. There's a new Irish champion and a new name with that belt. It's going to be Marco McCullough, and that was a really impressive win. And it may be that it's going to be a long, long way back from here, if at all, for Willie Casey. But salute Marco McCullough. That was an excellent performance.
Oh, it was something else, wasn't it? You know, you got a young kid here who really, on paper, was out of his depth, John. And what did he do? He had the tactics wrong. You would think in the first 2 rounds, tried to stand toe-to-toe with Casey. Showed his strength, his commitment, and his boxing ability at the end, and just seemed to grow strong as the fight went on, didn't he? And the finish was great. And for me, I think Casey was just exhausted, wasn't he? The first knockdown, he sort of dipped his legs, didn't he, there? Tired, John, that's just a tired figure.
Damage had already been done before then. And then that solid right hand, and really, I think it could have been stopped there and then, but they allowed it to continue. See it from another angle, that's a lovely shot. But Casey was all in by then.
And what an educated risk there, though, for Marco McCullough. Now he's come of age, hasn't he, tonight? Answered so many questions that were asked of him and come through with flying colours. His commitment, his chin, strength, boxing ability, even his footwork late on the fight was better than in the earlier rounds.
Well, nobody's trying to say that Willie Casey is quite the fighter he was a year or 2 back, but that was a big step up in class for Marco McCullough, and how well did he respond. They're very happy in that corner. John Breen clearly has done a terrific job with McCullough, getting him up for this fight, and the big step up, fighting over the 10-round distance and getting a really impressive knockout stoppage victory. Referee absolutely right to wave it over, and we only gave a couple of rounds to Willie Casey. That was a big performance for the man from Belfast. In just a moment or two, the 2 fighters will be drawn together. Mel Christie waiting there with that Irish belt, which will be presented to the winner.
And the impressive thing, John, about McCullough, he had to adapt under pressure, didn't he? Constant pressure from Casey with the footwork, kept him on the back foot, and he adapted his style, didn't he? Just moved, you know, just took a couple of steps back, so got that right hand into play lovely, started to spin him later on in the fight. Brilliant work, and then when the combination punches there, that was the difference, wasn't it? Really was good. What a performance.
John Breen asking the Belfast crowd to salute this fella. As well they will, I'm sure. Taking a long time getting the gloves off Willie Casey, who's going to be bitterly disappointed. And now Gloves almost have been taken off Willie Casey. Wonder if that is going to be for the last time. Do you see him coming back after that?
Well, it's where does he go in it, John? I'm not saying he's a spent force, but it was a gamble for him. It almost seemed like a stupid fight to take, didn't it? The guy was in championship class, if you like, just beat Jason Booth, and then gets beat by a guy who's only had 8 fights. So it's hard to see when he comes back from this.
15 months out of the ring for Willie Casey as well. I wonder if that's perhaps played a little bit of a part in that as well. But there's the face of the winner. That swollen right-eyed early on never hampered him, and in the end taking it very impressively. And here's confirmation.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're joined in the ring by the president of the Boxing Union of Ireland. He has the featherweight belt, Mr. Mel Crystal. And I think it's appropriate, before we declare the result, to please show our appreciation to 2 warriors of the boxing ring. Timekeeper Dale Elliott records an official time, 2 minutes 45 seconds into round number 9, and referee Paul McCullough stops the contest. In his opinion, Willie Casey in no position to defend himself. The winner, he is the new Irish featherweight champion, McCullough.
Very good. And the big fella Mel Crystal steps forward now and puts that belt around his waist. And he is now the Irish champion, and deservedly so. Good performance, and the crowd giving him a terrific ovation. And so we move closer to the Carl Frampton fight, our main fight of the night, but that is a big one for Ireland, an all-Irish battle, and Marco McCullough, the winner, and those are the pictures which are going to be across the Irish newspapers.
Fine performance from Marco McCullough. Remember, he'd never been beyond 4 rounds. He'd sparred with Willie Casey. He said, don't worry, I've sparred with him. I am the better boxer. A real gamble, though, that one. And Bunsey, it's paid off in big style.
I tell you what, it didn't look like it had, though, in round 2 and round 3, and you could hear Barry predicting, like I thought, of stoppage. But John Breen in the corners, a voice of reason. He's been the centre of boxing here in Belfast for about 40 years, and he just wasn't panicking. He knew what they were doing, McCullough, working on the eye, working on the head, getting inside the kid's head and telling him, don't worry, he'll wear himself out. And in the other corner, Casey's corner, Phil Sutcliffe sort of knew after 4 rounds they'd let it slip.
And here's the stoppage in the 9th, and it's a heck of an achievement to bring this fight to a premature conclusion, Steve.
It was, because, I say, after 3 rounds, he was 2-1 down, but more than that, it looked like the old dog Willie Casey. It looked like he had, he had the momentum, he had the power, the natural power. I know he was naturally a super bantam, he's the older man, and he was outgunned, he was bullying McCullough, and he turned it round in rounds 5, 6 and 7, and he looked fantastic. He's a kid of an awful lot of confidence. He's not short of confidence. Gave me plenty of stick when I had him on the phone the other day, and I like that. It's always a good gauge.
Well, we'll see if he gives Alex a bit of stick. Let's have a word, shall we, now, with the new Irish featherweight champion.
Irish champion. How does that sound?
Brilliant. All respect to Willie Casey. It was a real hard fight. It's a big step up in level for me, and just to show that I can go in with the big boys.
You started off a million miles an hour. Did you get caught up in the occasion?
The big crowd and got me through until the fight, and I was told not to the first round. John Breen told me not at the end of the fight. That suits his style of boxing, just out boxing. But I got through until the big crowd and stuff. And then one of the 5th round, I was scared to punch myself out. I've never done any more than 4 rounds. So I started trying to relax a wee bit more and enjoying it.
And strangely, you seem to be more relaxed and more comfortable, and you boxed better once you got into the later round.
Yeah, well, once I started boxing, I felt great. And he's very wild. Everything you could see coming from miles away. So it was easy enough once I started boxing.
John Breen, you must have had massive confidence to be putting that match together. On paper, it looked a massive step up. Why?
I'd seen Mark sparring with Willie about 2 years ago. Mark was only a pro a few months, and Mark was winning the spars in the gym. So I said, Mark, do you want the fight? He jumped it. I said, that's okay. I wanted it too, but I wanted Mark to give me the okay word. So.
And I mean, he's only starting out, but what's the next step now?
Well, again, Martin Lindsay is the best featherweight in Ireland at the moment, in Britain at the moment, in my opinion. Next year we're ready for Martin Lindsay.
And we saw, when you were throwing punches, that the crowd get into this. Something quite special about a Belfast crowd as well. How important is it to have their backing, and how much did you enjoy that tonight?
Well, the fan base is building up every fight. That's the most tickets I've ever sold. There was some support there, and you enjoy it a lot better when the crowd's behind you rather than the crowd against you. So I enjoyed it tonight.
And you've got a few more pals, a few more fans over the water as well. Well done, gents.
Thank you very much.
8 wins out of 9. 8 wins out of 9 for Marco, a bruised face and a belt around his waist. And warm applause, 1 or 2 gaps in that crowd here at the Odyssey. There won't be in a couple of hours.
I think